Hello everybody, this is DrAZNstarcraft with Dr.Starcraft episode 10. This replay was sent in by Aqua here, the red Zerg. He's going to be spawning on the right top side, I guess. On the right side, I guess. And then his opponent's going to be Cruelas, the blue Protoss player. And he's going to be on the top side of the map. Now the map is Shattered Temple. Okay, you have this Zelnaga Watchtower in the middle of the... I can't talk today. In the middle of the map, you have a small ramp going into your main, and you have a very easy to grab natural. You have rocks in the back leading to a third base, or you could break rocks here and you have a gold expansion. Okay, so this is a silver. I was told a mid-silver game. So we're taking a look at this. This is actually a matchup that I have a lot of trouble with. Well, not a lot of trouble, but it's just the Zerg player kind of has a tough time with the Protoss player as soon as they get Colossus out. Okay, so both players scouting in the correct positions already. We have a forward pylon, so that means that the Protoss player is probably going to wall off here. We have Protoss player scouting, both players scouting. Okay. Yeah, you should really, instead of just clicking all around like this, maybe patrol so they run in a circle so you don't have to keep doing this. Okay, gateway going down, and it looks like it's going to be... Oh, I didn't do this. There they are. Okay, so it looks like a 13 pool. That's usually what I go favor for. 13 pool, and then get a hatchery down, depending on the map and the spawn locations. So, okay, we have a simulator, and yeah, so pretty standard so far from both players. And it looks like he is coming to take an expansion. Just waiting for those 300 minerals, and he should be throwing down an expansion right now. Yeah. Okay, so this is a build that I go a lot. 13 pool, 13 hatch. It's usually pretty effective. It's the only thing is if he can, any early pressure is pretty hard to hold off unless you scout. So it looks like if he can keep this drone alive for pretty long, and this overlord as well, then he should be fine. He should be in a good spot here. You'll usually see roaches come out. We have a queen on the way. We have a zealot on the way. So he's not skipping that first zealot in order to get a stock route faster. He's just going for that zealot. The thing to note about this ramp too is a sentry can block it off with one force field. It only takes one force field to block off this ramp. Okay, I think this is before the patch. This game is before the patch as well. So warp gate timing is still the same. Unit timing still the same for Protoss. So we could possibly see a 4 gate here. It still is, even with the patch, it's still very effective. But the patch just kind of nerfed it a little bit. Well, quite a bit actually. But anyway, moving on. Okay, it looks like we could see some Spanishiwa style play. There's a lot of late drone or late gas. He hasn't gotten his gas up yet. If you guys have seen Spanishiwa play at all, he gets super late gas, but he scouts really, really well. So he knows when the pressure's coming. He can just make units real quick. And we do have a 4 gate going down. It'll be interesting if he uses this defensively or if he uses it offensively. Most of the time it's an offensive 4 gate. However, if you watch, I think it was Dr.Starcraft episode 9. I think, okay, this is what I like. I like when he gets this extra queen out to get creep spread. Okay, what was I saying? Oh, episode 9, if you watch Dr.Starcraft episode 9, we do see a defensive 4 gate from Butters. Okay? He does use that 4 gate defensively, and as soon as that push comes, he just pushes with his own army, and he does have quite a formidable force coming out. Okay? So now, we do have some queens out here, an extra queen out. And it looks like he is powering drones. He's just continuing to power drones, and he has more queens on the way. Okay? I love this style play. I love when when Zerg players get extra queens out. I think it's just such a great style of play, just to have more creep spread, to have early air defense. He's throwing out a couple spine crawlers. I would like to see these spine crawlers more to protect his natural more so than his main. You don't really have to worry about run-bys with Protoss. It's more of like a Zergling run-by thing. You don't really need these to wall off the front of your ramp if you're going against a Protoss player. Okay, the Protoss player does have a lot of extra minerals. It'll be interesting to see what he uses it on. If he's going to expand at all, or if he's just going to push. And it looks like he is going to push. Okay, so we'll see what we can do with this attack. Our Zerg player really doesn't have a lot to deal with it except for queens and these spine crawlers. But he can transfuse on these queens, or on the queens can transfuse each other. And he can transfuse these spine crawlers. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do here. Okay, it'll be interesting. I think the creep can see this right now. And yes, he can see this. He knows this is coming. So he's trying to position his queens, trying to position his units. He does have more drones on the way, so he's just powering drones. And again, see, this is why I don't like the spine crawler placement. If he would have placed these spine crawlers elsewhere, I think he would have had a better time. And he didn't transfuse. He could have transfused on that queen to save it, but he did not. So right now, we just need to see more units. We need to see Zerglings. We have 4 Zerglings on the way. I don't know if that'll be enough. He's just losing his queens. He needs to pay attention to where his queens are going. He needs to use transfuse. Make more Zerglings. He needs Zerglings so badly right now. At this point, it looks like he's going to lose this expansion. He is making more Zerglings, so that's good. Kind of. And yes, he did lose his expansion. So that sucks for him. But it looks like our Protoss player is going to back out here before these Zerglings come out. And yes. So that's what's going to happen right now. I would like to see our Zerg player go roaches here. What was our Protoss player doing at the base? Okay, that would have been a perfect time for our Protoss player to have expanded while attacking. Okay, if he could have thrown down a Nexus while he was attacking, this Nexus would be done by now, and he can concentrate more on pumping probes or, you know, saturating that natural expansion. So he's a little delayed there. Okay, let's see how our Zerg player is recovering. He did throw down his expansion again. And he's just continuing. He's getting his layer out now. I would really like to see him get roaches. Roaches are so good to tank damage from these units. And then when they're backed up with, when you go Roach Hydra against a Protoss army, it just obliterates their any kind of 4-gate or gateway unit. So I would really prefer that style of play. I don't know what he's planning, but we'll see very soon. So now it looks like the tables have turned. Our Zerg player now has almost running around 500 to 600 minerals, just sitting there. Same thing with gas, while our Protoss player is staying ahead of his army, or staying ahead in his macro. Okay, so it looks like this base is now done, just popping up there. And we do have Evolution Chamber and a Hydralisk Den. Okay, so he is getting his upgrades, he's getting his range upgrades. This is now the time where he should be throwing down that Roach Warren. Okay, sure, Zerglings are great. I love Zerglings, but you know, Roaches are going to keep up with that Hydra army, keep them clumped together. The Zerglings will just kind of run past the Hydras, so that they're not really doing any good. The one thing important that you want to do is you want to clump your armies together. You want to make sure your army stays in one big thing, unless it's Colossus, of course. But you want to make sure your army stays in a big group, so that they're all doing damage at once. Zerglings are too fast for the Hydralisk to keep up, so it makes it kind of difficult to keep your army together. So I'd rather see a Roach Hydra rather than Zergling Hydra, but we'll see how it plays out. He is getting Zergling speeds almost complete now. And looks like he's focusing on getting his upgrades. He has Hydra range as well as Zerg armor. Okay, so it looks like he's just going to test the front door here. He's taking a watchtower. And yeah, he sees that big ball of army. He knows what's there. He knows he has expansion up. And again, our Protoss player is just focusing more on gateway units. I would really like to see him throw down a robotics facility, just get maybe a reserver, tech up to Colossus eventually. So we have a handful of Zerglings, and they're going to be taking the gold expansion here. Okay, so it looks like our Zerg player is just going to go for the gold, try and do whatever he can. He has a bunch of Hydras out now, but those Hydras aren't really going to do much if they can't stay alive long enough. Okay, which is why he needs those roaches to take damage. That's one of the most important things he could be doing, is to get a healthy unit composition where each unit is doing something productive. Okay, so he did break down those rocks. He has a drone coming over to expand, and that expansion is going down right now. Okay, our Protoss player does have a is just keep amassing forces here. I would have liked to see him maybe saturate both his bases a little more, which he's doing right now. He is getting a forge down. Getting his robotics is almost complete. Okay, and it looks like he is going to move out here a little bit and try to push. Okay, so you have a forge going down, finally getting those upgrades, and he has his robotics. Okay, so now our Zerg player knows this is here. He can see it on the creep. He's positioning his army in a way to try to hold this off. Our Protoss player does see that this gold expansion is going down. Our Zerg player should cancel this. Cancel. No. Oh, yes, he did. He did manage to cancel that right at the last second. Okay, force fields going down. Those force fields really didn't do anything much except block his zealots. And now this Protoss army is on the run. Hydra's so fast on that creep. Good defense from the Zerg player. He has our Protoss player has 3 stalkers here that he kind of forgot about, I guess. And these roaches will just clean that up. Okay. And then we have this expansion going down again. So, we have missiles level 2, a range attack level 2 coming down for the Zerg. We have an infestation pit. We could be seeing infestors here. Okay, infestors, you usually don't see a lot of infestors until you get to a higher level of play. But it's very interesting to see them in this level of play. It shows that infestors are being used more often. I kind of like that style of play. Like I've said in other casts before, infestors are so effective with dealing with infantry units or gateway units. So we'll see what happens here. Tons of photon cannons coming in here. I think just maybe 2 or 3 too many. Yeah, that's a lot of cannons. He really doesn't need that many cannons right in the front of his base. That seems like a waste of money. So now he has a Colossus coming out with Thermal Lance and weapons level 1. Okay, and he's still not fully saturating his expansions. He should be doing these 2 expansions should have been fully saturated a long time ago. Okay, for most of the game, it's been a 2-base Protoss against a 2-base Zerg. A 2-base Protoss should be way ahead of the Zerg by now, but it looks like the Zerg is the one pulling ahead, as well as taking his gold expansion. Okay, this gold expansion is now up. He should be transferring drones very soon. Let's see where he's doing. He should be transferring drones right now. Why aren't you transferring drones? He's still making more drones. I think he has a little too many drones. But we'll see how this ends up. He should be transferring. I don't know why he's not transferring. But, oh well. I'm not playing the game, so we'll see. Now he has, our Protoss player now has double Colossus coming out. Just producing Colossi non-stop. Trying to stop that Zerg army from getting too big. He's really pushing here just to see what units he has at the front door. And this expansion is not fully saturated, but he has to transfer these drones over. These drones aren't really doing anything except this is way oversaturated. Okay, there's barely 3 mineral patches here, and he has a ton of drones queued up here. Yeah. Okay, so now the infestors are coming out. He has more and more infestors. He has burrow. So he's moving around with these infestors. He should be using these to scout around a little bit. Although as soon as he hits the front door with all these photon cannons, he would get automatically